everyone, it's Hayes. In today's video we're going to be doing the commentary / analysis for episode 3, Miraculous Ladybug season 6, Sublimation. And before I say anything else, I'm about to spoil the whole episode for you, so please go and make sure you have watched the episode before you watch this video. Apart from the people who don't want to watch the episode and just watch these and stuff, which is also fine. But anyway, I had a bit longer than usual to think about the episode because I actually sat down to do my reaction, which will be up on Monday. Then I actually went out for a pedicure, and whilst I was there I was talking to Ahmed and Telly and some of my other friends about what they thought about the episode, looking through Twitter to see the general reaction, and then I came home, rewatched it, took notes, and now I'm doing this. So I've had a bit longer than usual to sit with it and think about it. Usually I do it pretty much straight in order with no breaks in between, film reaction, take notes, do this video. So I've had a bit longer than usual to ruminate on it. And overall I would give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was great. I just thought it was fine. And honestly, I'm worried I'm going to be like this with a lot of the season because I find it a little bit jarring basically. So in season 1 we had a lot of pretty much all the episodes apart from like Origins and Volpina really. Apart from those 3 episodes, you could watch the show in any order you liked. It didn't really matter. Season 2, more of the episodes were a bit more plot heavy, but again, you could watch it in any order you wanted really. Season 3 kind of brought it up another notch where more were plot heavy. And then season 4 really took it up where quite a lot of them were plot heavy. Like you really ideally need to watch 1, 2 and 3 in that order of season 4. And then season 5. A lot of the episodes do depend on what happens in the previous episode, and like it got to a point where Thomas was getting annoyed about TV networks airing episodes not in the correct order, not waiting for episodes because it was going to mess up the story. Whereas now he's done the opposite where he's talking online about like, yeah, you can really watch them in any order you like. And I'm just finding it a bit jarring to going from something that was so plot heavy, and it really did, the order did matter of the episodes, to now where it doesn't, and it's just a bit like And I'm also finding it a bit jarring that as much as I'm glad that a lot of the serious stuff is over from season 5, I'm sure it's going to build back up again by the end of the season, don't get me wrong. Whilst I'm glad it's over from first of all a viewer standpoint, because it was kind of getting emotionally exhausting to have to, it was, you know what I mean, it was just a lot and it was all really depressing, especially the London special. It's one reason why I didn't like it, because it was just too much and there was no real break from it, to be honest. And also just in terms of Marinette's well-being, I'm glad it's over for her since she's the one going through it all. So whilst in one vein I'm glad it's over, at the same time again it's just a bit jarring to build up a show and make it so serious in season 5 for it to not be. Don't get me wrong, I always expect Miraculous to have goofy moments, and I love the goofy moments in this episode, especially like, it wasn't really a montage, but I guess more of the sequence where Marinette is trying to help Sublime, you know, her heartstring breaks, she goes to get it, nope, she doesn't have chopsticks, she just gets some, nope, she's got it sorted herself. That was funny. There's like one point I think when she's running back from the music room, she's like running on the wall. I thought that was great. I always expect Miraculous to have goofy moments, but I guess because of what season 5 was like, I'm finding it a bit jarring. So again, like with the animation, I just hope that's something I'm going to get used to as it goes on. I don't know, I did really like the message of this episode about, first of all, around Marinette and making mistakes and apologising for them, which is really good. A lot of people always say in this fandom that Marinette makes mistakes and never apologises, which is factually incorrect, but here is another proof of her apologising. She was absolutely in the wrong. She sorted it. I was just so relieved because I was worried she'd like actively put soap on the tracks. It was still Marinette's fault, Ladybug's fault, that Sublime broke her prosthetics, but I thought it was like done in a malicious way from we got to the trailers. Like I literally thought Marinette was like, oh, I hate her, she's trying to steal Adrian, let me put soap on the tracks to make her fall. That's what I was worried about. I thought it was gonna be like another Annie Maestro sort of situation. It wasn't, so I was glad about that. But yeah, I'm just feeling it's a bit disjointed coming from season 5 to season 6. And I really feel maybe it does happen in episode 1, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, because I haven't seen it. All I know about it is it's Miss Boostier's Akuma into Thematic Queen. But I'm hoping it has some sort of setup. Like we got to see the school for the first time in this episode, which looks amazing by the way, it looks amazing. But like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, how's everyone feeling? Is Marinette still feeling guilty about everything that happened at the end of season 5? Is Adrian still grieving? Which yes, I think he is. Like his shirt is quite wrinkled, doesn't really look like he's taking care of himself. So I feel like we're lacking a bit of setup, and after how emotionally heavy season 5 was, I really feel we need it, personally, but yeah, I guess that's not really a problem with Sublimation, just might be a problem with the season overall, because whilst the episode themselves have a good standalone plot, there isn't really much at the minute anyway. Obviously I'm saying this having only seen 2 episodes, there isn't really seem to be anything establishing a large plot, do you know what I mean? Like something larger and ongoing. So like for example in season 5 a lot of the episodes had their own self-contained plot, but then Gabriel would be doing something in the background that was contributing to a larger plot that was taking place across the whole season. There doesn't seem to be that larger plot going on. Lila's up to something but I still don't even know what her motivation is, so I'm finding it a bit weird. Like yeah, anyway, hopefully it will just be something I get used to, and it's not just a problem with Sublimation. I have a feeling it's going to happen in a lot of the episodes because the illustrator did the exact same thing. But anyway, I guess one thing, we're going through it in order now, one thing I'm curious about though, because a lot of people were saying after the illustrator that Marinette was this anxious around Adrian because it was partially fueled by her guilt around lying to him about Gabriel. Not necessarily lying to him about being Ladybug, but because she knows it's his dad who was the villain and he died, and how he died exactly, she knows she was the only person there. So whilst I absolutely do feel that that is going to be affecting her in some way, whether it's guilt or something else as well, I'm just not convinced that her actions in both this episode and the illustrator are fueled by it. I just feel like, I was about to say I just feel like she's being herself, but also at the same time, again going back to what I was saying towards the start of the video, is that because she did have so much development in season 5, honestly I really felt the only person she was truly anxious around was Gabriel, but she kind of started to overcome that in episodes like Pretension, and then in the finale she really didn't seem that anxious around him at all. So it just seems like she's taken like 55 steps backwards, and she just seems completely incapable again, back to her season 1 factory settings basically. And whilst I love Marinette and I think she's great, again I'm just finding it such a jarring shift. So yeah, basically the hiatus was too long and Marinette forgot all her development. I don't know. It's just, she wants to be perfect, and I can kind of see on one level that might be due to what happened with Gabriel, so she's like, I can't make any more mistakes because I make a mistake again, like she did in Strike Back, then this will happen again and this happen again, it'll just snowball into something terrible and someone else's parent's gonna end up dying. So on one hand I think it could be that, but on the other hand I'm like, is it though? Because we don't know. We don't actually know how Marinette is feeling. We don't know how any of them are feeling because no one's really told us. It's not been shown on screen how Marinette is feeling. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't been that long since the end of Recreation in terms of their timeline. Recreation happened at the start of July, and assuming this does pick up at the start of the school year, that's only in September. That's only a month and a half afterwards, and for a 14-year-old, that's a lot of pressure for not that much time having passed. So I guess I'm not sure which one it is. I can definitely sympathise with it and understand if that is the reason why, but because I'm not sure, I'm like, I don't know how to think because we haven't been shown how she's actually been feeling. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. Maybe I need to make a separate video dedicated to this issue I'm having. Anyway, Tiki was hilarious. She's just like, Alia, please stop. And Alia's like, she'll get there eventually. Like I said, the school looked amazing. It reminded me of like something like the Transfiguration Courtyard from Harry Potter. It was great. It was wonderful. Why are there sheep there? I know it's eco-friendly, but like, what if the sheep start biting people? Anyway, Sublime was great though. I thought she was amazing. She was wonderful, so resourceful. As a fellow disabled person, although I am not visibly disabled, I'm always glad that people can't always tell I'm disabled, because then people don't offer me help out of nowhere, which I'm just like, no, please don't. I find it weird and odd, and then oftentimes when people do find out I am disabled, they start trying to offer me help and stuff. I'm like, no, stop. That's why very few people at work know. A couple of people have to know for the reasonable adjustments that I'm allowed by law, but no one who doesn't need to know doesn't know I'm disabled, because I'm just like, I don't want special treatment. I need extra help sometimes because of my autism and some of the difficulties I have because of it, but I don't want special treatment in the sense that I get extra help where I don't need it that other people may need but they're not entitled to because they're not disabled. So 100% understand wanting to do a lot of things by yourself. It is sometimes to my detriment because I'm sometimes like, no, I can't ask for help because then everyone's gonna think I'm stupid. I definitely get that sometimes as well, where even if I desperately need help, I will not ask for it because I'm just like, no, no. Maybe you relate if you're disabled, but I thought she was great. Adrian, even though apart from his cat noir, he really didn't do much in this episode, but when he was talking to Sublime and she was just like, yeah, I think your girlfriend might just be like being a bit weird around me, he's like, yeah, she's just like that with new people she likes. It was so lovely and understanding. It was great. Although I do think in general, one of the reasons this episode is a 6 out of 10 is about the miscommunication. Whilst I definitely feel like it's kind of in keeping with Marinette, first of all, like I said, I feel like she's developed a lot past the point of this, and I feel like to make it make more sense in terms of her development is if things were happening that made the miscommunication kind of seem logical to us. So they did it in the episode in the bathroom scene where Sublime, the way I interpreted it, when she's like giving herself kind of like an angry / mean pep talk, where I think she was kind of like talking to her reflection as if like the version inside of her could stop her from doing well at this trial. That's what I interpreted it as. I don't actually know, but obviously Marinette was like, oh, she knows I'm in here, she knows or she thinks I'm trying to sabotage her or whatever. I think that was done really well, so perhaps if she'd caught the end of like Adrian and Sublime's conversations and it could be interpreted as like something kind of mean, I think the miscommunication would have worked really well. Like for example, a really good miscommunication episode is from season 3, Backwater, I'm never sure how to say that episode name, where all the different pieces of paper get passed around, where Adrian gets the constipation medication and stuff like that. That was a great bit of miscommunication that was done really well. So I feel like if Marinette did actually have clues that Sublime might not like her, it might have gone a bit better. I think it might have been a bit more plausible in keeping with her character, because apart from what happened in the bathroom, she was just guessing. She was just like, I have this feeling, and Tiki was like, with what? With what proof? Marinette's just like, I know. And Tiki's like, no you don't. So I wish there had been some like actual concrete proof to point to it, and Sublime at the end could have been like, oh no, we were just doing this, oh no, I meant that, and stuff like that. I think that would have been executed better instead of Marinette just going crazy with it, basically. But again, it could be affected by what happened with Gabriel possibly, but again, I don't know that because I haven't been shown she's really feeling that. She just seems like season 1 Marinette to me, so I don't know. Anyway, what's next? Sublime's parents. I love them, again, like I was saying before, with disabled people. Oftentimes you get people who help a bit too much, and then you have other people like, no, they need to learn. They're like the absolute two extremes, with Sublime's dad being absolutely lovely, absolutely wonderful, and then Caroline, Sublime's mum, just being horrible. They were basically very similar to Audrey and Andre, but at least, you know, Caroline and began with an S, was it Sevron or something? I'm not even sure how you spell that name. At least they recognise they don't do well together and got divorced. I hope they don't get back together, because I don't think it would work. I'm glad they're both there for Sublime, but I do not think they should get back in a relationship further than co-parenting Sublime. Nothing romantic. They should not get married again unless Caroline has a personality transplant. No thank you. But anyway, they were great, and it showed the different kinds of extremes, where her dad, he was lovely, don't get me wrong, but he was just kind of coddling her a bit too much, and then her mum is just like, no, do it yourself. Meet somewhere in the middle. That would be better in my opinion as a disabled person. That's just my opinion, but of course I'd love to know what you think, especially if you are disabled. So then Marinette akumatizes herself into Soapinado, whatever she said, and honestly that outfit was really good. Dare I say it, better than her civilian outfit this season. You know, the civilian outfit was bad when she put sponges on her shoulders, and I'm like, yes, classic. Great outfit. Like I said, I'm just relieved as well that first of all it seemed the soap was making her faster, and that Marinette hadn't maliciously put it on the tracks. But then I also kind of like the idea of it being Ladybug's fault. I thought it was good because it shows her the mistakes she's making, hopefully help her to calm down a little bit, even though this episode takes place before the Illustrator. So I'm just a bit like, again, it doesn't make sense with her development at the minute. Let's see how it goes, but I'm just a bit like, okay. Obviously I only have 2 episodes to judge it on so far, but I'm just a bit like, alrighty then. And then we have the classic Akuma massage. Why does Lila do that? Akumatization with a complimentary massage. And she's like giving the little shoulder massage before she akumatizes them. What a great deal, 2 for the price of 1. And honestly, I did really like the whole Akuma fight sequence at the minute. Like I was just saying in the Illustrator, I'm really liking the Akuma. Not so much the rest of it. Usually my favourite parts of the episode prior to this season was everything but the Akuma fight. At the minute with these episodes, I am liking really only the Akuma fight at the minute. I also liked how Ladybug and Cat Noir were the best versions of themselves, which was nice, but it also was just like, well, if they're already the best versions of themselves, then there's no room for them to develop, question mark? I don't know if that's what I should be taking away from it, because she apologises at the end and shows she has made mistakes and that there is room to develop. So I'm just a bit, was it like kind of more of the message was you can be a great person but still make mistakes possibly? I'm not sure. There was a lot of different messages going around like mistakes, making mistakes and friendship and disabled people and how you should treat them and stuff like that. There's just quite a lot going on and I don't think they quite pulled it off as flawlessly as they wanted it to. I then love the anti-Akumas, which seems like, I guess, like a new power of Lila's, so hopefully we see it again later on in the season. That would be cool, since she completely takes over, like Caroline had zero control over it. That was great. And then we had the Lucky Charm and there being no damage. Caroline, apart from I think Bob Roth's car, I don't think she caused any other damage, so she was a great Akuma. She was quite nice as Akuma villains go. And the Lucky Charm absolutely roasted Marinette. It was like, yeah, it was you. You were the problem. You were the damage in this situation. I like to think of that as Tiki as just being like, no, please don't do this again. Because Tiki was worried about her at the start of the episode. But I was very glad that the Miraculous Ladybug fixed the prosthetics. However, I had Ahmed ask me that and I was just like, I don't know. The prosthetics got damaged prior to the villain being akumatized. So surely, I'm glad they got fixed, don't get me wrong, but surely they wouldn't get fixed? I don't know. Do you know, like for example in the New York special, there's something going on in Paris, a load of buildings get damaged by that Senti monster, and Cat Noir's like, oh well, you can just do your Lucky Charm to fix it, and Marinette's like, no, I can't, because this Lucky Charm is tied to this situation. She could save Aeon, but she couldn't stop what was going on in Paris, she couldn't resolve it, she couldn't heal it or whatever, because that Lucky Charm isn't tied to that situation. Could you argue that Caroline's Akuma is tied to what happened to Sublimation? Yes, I guess. I don't know, I guess it's the same in Timebreaker because the watch gets broken before Alex is akumatized and is the cause of the Akuma. I guess you could argue it like that. I wasn't 100% sure. Ahmed, I think that's your answer, but I don't actually know. I don't know. And I'm glad that Ladybug apologised and also that Marinette apologised. I think they could have easily just skipped out on Marinette apologising. So I'm glad they did it and cleared up the misunderstandings, but I think that scene would have been more effective if there had actually been a misunderstanding. Because apart from what happened in the bathroom, there was no miscommunication. Marinette just didn't talk to her and just assume things. Like, no. And then of course we have the ending with Tomoe. Now, am I glad that she is sponsoring Sublime? Yes. And am I glad in a way it's a disabled woman sponsoring Sublime? Yes. However, this disabled woman is evil and she is up to something. I don't know what, but she's up to something. And I hate when people say, there's a stereotype I see online all the time, that disabled people can't be mean. Yes, we can. Especially Tomoe. Don't know what she's up to yet. I'm not sure how Sublime will play into that plan, if she does at all. But at the minute I'm just like, no. And please put some lip balm on your crusty lips as well. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to give the episode overall a 6 out of 10. I think the issue I'm having with it suddenly being really not very serious at all and back to season 1 factory settings is just something I'll have to sort out on my own. Same with the animation. It's just going to take some getting used to. And hopefully I will have the headspace to get used to it on the cruise since I won't be at work because I work full time. So 6 out of 10, and MVP of course was Sublime. She seems lovely. I love the little scene with her with the birds on top of her locker. I can't wait to see more of her. And yeah, that'd be great. Will she use Miraculous? I'm thinking if Marinette really does get her mind wiped in like Lady Chaos or something, Alia takes the Ladybug and then she was like, you know, we'll find someone for tricks. Sublime already plays the flute. I'm pretty sure Alia doesn't. I don't think that's actually a prerequisite for being the fox holder. I don't think you need to know how to play the flute. But maybe. I don't know. Anyway besties, I'd love to know what you think of this episode. Of course, it's completely fine if you disagree with me. This was just my own opinion. I never expect any of you to agree 100% with me. I do generally think most of you will generally agree with me, but will still differ sometimes. And I also do expect people to disagree with me completely, but as long as you express your opinion nicely, then I don't care. So I'd love to know what you thought of this episode, besties, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!